I'm not a huge fan of the content or the videos on like Reels or TikTok where the creator will basically be like, they're at the gym, it's like fucking 4:30 a.m. for no reason. And they're like, while you're sleeping, I'm getting ahead. Or like you're if you don't do this, you're falling behind. Which to me it doesn't make sense. And I know for a lot of people it doesn't. It's truthfully the stupidest thing in my opinion. And it doesn't make sense because it implies that there's a race, that everybody's on the same track and they're running or whatever on a race. And it's as if everybody has the same outcome and it's ranked based on how good of an outcome their life is. And truthfully, it doesn't make sense because everybody starts in a different place, right? Everybody has different circumstances, different responsibilities, different pressures, right? Some people have enormous amounts of pressures compared to others. So it just doesn't hold up. And honestly, I used to look at life the same way, just like constantly comparing myself to others. And I love mentioning that I'm in engineering, but it's kind of a good metaphor for a lot of things. But in engineering, essentially, it's inevitable to compare. It's impossible not to compare because there's a lot of metrics that are measurable, like compared to other people, right? There's grades, internships, experience, like projects you've done. So it's inevitable that somebody's going to get a better grade than you, and you're going to have to face that reality. Somebody's going to get an internship at whatever company, and you're going to be like, oh shit, that's like way better than I've done. And you just have to like face that. Like you can't avoid it. It's unavoidable. You have to face it. And at the beginning, you start thinking like, God, these guys got better grades than me, so they must be ahead of me. They must be ahead of me. Sorry. But ahead of what exactly? Like, what does that mean? Because by saying somebody's ahead of you, you're essentially judging your own life based on somebody else's metrics, right? You measure your own progress based on other people's goals. So at that point, you're not improving. You're constantly feeling behind, but you never are behind. You're not ahead, you're not behind, right? You're not racing anybody. There is no timeline. There's not a universal timeline for everybody. There is no racetrack. And so that means there isn't a single definition of success that applies to everybody. All you can do is look at your own life and determine whether or not in this very moment you're proud of where you're going and what you're doing. And if you're not, then reflect and do something about it, right? This truthfully requires a little bit of selfishness, right? You have to really focus on yourself, on your own values and your own progress. And when I say selfishness, it's not an egotistical way, but in a grounded way, right? You have to take the time and look at what you're doing and not focus on others, not think about what other people are doing. Because those people might be dealing with some stuff that you don't know about. And you're probably dealing with some stuff that they don't know about. So it's all surface level, grades and stuff like that. They might have put a lot of more people might put a lot more effort than you if they get better grades or whatever it may be, but it's all surface level. It's what you see. You don't know what's going on in the background. You don't know what type of pressure people are putting on them to get those grades or what type of end goal that they have. They might be going for a freaking master's or a PhD and they need those high marks, right? So at the end of the day, we're just living our own life. And that's the only one we're responsible for right now, I guess. Unless you're like a parent. But yeah.